Hello, everyone. Hello. Nice to see you all. Thank you for attending this session. So today what we'll do is discuss how you can make your social media strategy impactful and economical in 2022 and beyond. I'll be sharing with you loads of content ideas, top tips, and any trends you need to be aware of in the online world. My name is Kristalena Vraila, and I'm the co-founder and director of Mr. Highline. So, just to share with you a little bit of my background, I consider myself a hospitality professional. I studied hospitality management at the Glio Institute of Higher Education, and then I worked in several managerial positions in hotels, with the latest one being the Waldorf Astoria in New York. In 2017, I co-founded Mr. Highline, and since then we have successful partnerships with different hospitality businesses across the globe, in Europe, in the US, in Africa, and recently in the Middle East. So Mr. Highline is an award-winning digital agency, and we support hospitality businesses, as I initially said. So we've been awarded as Best Digital Agency in Hospitality in 2021 from the M&E Global Awards, and also we've been awarded as Leading Innovators in Hospitality Software Solutions by Lux Resorts and Retreats Awards. So what do we do? How do we support hospitality businesses? We operate in the online world, and we provide 360 services that have to do with website design and development, social media management, of course, applications and custom solutions, paid campaigns, and of course, email marketing and newsletters. So going back to the reason why we're here today, as I promised, we're going to explore how you can successfully set up your social media strategy for 2022. And in order to do that, we'll try to answer together some of the burning questions that most people have when they are beginning to plan their social media strategy. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy, because when you have so many options and when there's so much noise out there, how can you really save time for yourself and make it still successful? So the questions that we are going to answer are the following. What are the best digital practices and social media trends? What type of content do I need to publish in the post-COVID world? Which social media strategy is best suited for my business? And how will all these actions affect my bottom line? Super important, right? So we can all agree, before we start answering these questions, that the past couple of years have been very challenging, and hospitality is still recovering because our beautiful industry has been severely affected. So it's super important at this stage of recovery to bring experts on board to give you advice on certain areas of the business. And today, that's what I'll do. I'll try to give you the best advice that I can from a digital marketing perspective so that you feel ready and equipped to go back and either refine your social media strategy or even kickstart your presence. In order to base my arguments on some actual data, you'll see on the screen some statistics that prove why a consistent social media activity is key, especially during the recovery stage. So let's see the statistics together. 74% of social media users visit the brand's social media pages before booking or buying, while a 55% increase was observed in users in the US and UK who have been more active in social media during the past year. 82% of social media users indicate that social media is the most common channel from which they get information about a brand and its products. And an impressive 93% of businesses gain new customers as a result of branded video content, and most views come from mobile devices. So what we keep from these statistics is that at the moment, consumers use social media not just for entertainment, but also in order to get informed and to make buying decisions. Plus, the kicker here is that video content is a trend that's here to stay. And since we've set the tone, since we start all understanding why it's important to have a consistent social media activity, we are going to look into the importance of creating social media content for your business. And there are 4 numbers here on the screen with 4 photos. Between me and you, it might have taken an hour or so to choose the right photos for what I'm about to say, so I really hope that you see the connection. Number 1, social media gives you a voice. Number 2, it helps you build credibility. Number 3, it gives you a platform to share your news. And 4, it makes you memorable. What do I mean by saying it gives you a voice? Basically, you should use social media as another platform to connect with your audience, with past, present, and future guests. These are platforms where people leave comments, send you direct messages, send you inbox messages. So you and your business being active on social media means establishing another channel of communication with them, providing answers, being present, and building this relationship, which is so important. Obviously, as I said, this relationship is being nourished through that interaction, and therefore you manage to keep them engaged and to really establish your presence in the online world. Also, what's very important is that social media is basically a way to showcase your brand. Sometimes we forget about that, but just to give you an example, let's assume that you are an independent hotel in the Cotswolds, right? So you are targeting mostly leisure guests and you want to sell more staycation packages. This is exactly the message that I need to get when I land on your Instagram or your Facebook account. You need to sell me the experience. You need to sell me who you are and why I should continue following you. Why am I on your page as a follower? And why should I stay? Now, what do we mean by saying it allows you to build credibility? The word that I used before is key. Consistency, consistent activity is key. No matter what strategy you decide to employ, the point is that people will expect news from you on a frequent basis. Is that once a week, twice a week, 5 times per week? Be consistent. Don't change your frequency. It's super important to be consistent. And also be transparent. You might have implemented some new protocols. For example, we see that a lot of hospitality businesses, a lot of hotels have changed their check-in and check-out times in order to apply more thorough cleanliness procedures. So be open about it, inform your audience about it. This is a piece of information that shouldn't just be presented at the booking confirmation that a guest receives, but also on your social media platforms. This helps you being transparent and people to trust in you. And, of course, another thing that is very important is that since the pandemic started, we observe a lot of changes in the consumer behavior. So, for instance, I think that it's quite frequent in restaurants is that people don't feel that safe to stand in crowded environments. So you as a restaurant or a bar, you have decided to implement more strict seating arrangement, and that's perfect. Let people know. Some people will like it, some people will not. But still, it's another way to show who you are, why you are doing what you're doing, and let people follow you if they like what they see. Number 3, social media gives you a platform to share your news. So news are not just operational updates or opening times of your restaurants and bars. News are also seasonal offers, packages. For example, Christmas is coming. How are you planning to attract guests in your premises or in your restaurant or in your hospitality business in general? This is something that should be advertised early on social media so that you build that awareness that is so much needed and so that people can make an informative decision. Also, it's very important that once you share this news, you keep in mind what we said earlier. People will ask questions, either in comments or direct messages, or even they might send email to your business once they see this announcement on social. But what's super important is for you to answer right there and then. Don't answer in 48 hours, don't answer next week. Just stay on top of that communication, because otherwise people will consider that you are not so active on social, and that hurts your image. And number 4, which is a cornerstone here, I promise you that if you follow the first 3 rules, the first 3 steps, you'll manage to become memorable. And at the end of the day, what is marketing about? Marketing is about being memorable and is about allowing people to remember you when they want to make a buying decision. That's what we are doing here. You are sharing your news, your updates, information, you respond to comments, you are in touch, you keep your community engaged, because when the time comes and they want to travel, they want to relax, they want to organize an event, they want to organize a dinner, then they will remember you instead of someone else. So it all takes us back to that point, which is very, very important. And of course, what you'll have managed to do by then is build a strong bond with your audience, past, current, and future guests. I think by now you've all understood why it's important to have a consistent online activity and why it's important to share content on social media. And now you might be wondering, okay, yes, I need to do that. But what sort of content? Is any content good? Do I use photos? Do I use videos? What's the tone of voice? What are the top tips right now? Help me here. So again, you see here 4 images, and I'm going to present to you 4 of the top trends right now. We work with a lot of businesses globally, so the tips that I'm going to share with you are must-dos. Once you go back, find ways to incorporate them in the strategy, and you'll certainly feel equipped after what I'm about to share. At the beginning of the presentation, we talked about video content and the importance of video content. 2 of our favorite sorts of video content are stories and reels. Stories, I'm sure most of you know. Reels, I'll explain a bit better what that is for any of you that haven't used it yet. But here's an important piece of information to keep. 94% of marketeers say that using video has helped increase user understanding of a product or a service. So basically what Reels are, very simply put, is interactive piece of content where you clip a lot of different videos together. You edit them through the Reel feature that Instagram gives you. Super easy, you can just do it through your phone, and then you overlay that with music or with text or with any other GIFs and interactive elements. And it's something that people love, it's something that tells us a story, it's something super engaging that people will stop and watch. So that's a Reel. And now going to the stories, as I said, most of you know what the story is, but what we really, really like in stories is the interactive elements, such as countdowns, multiple choices, Q&A. What we see when we publish this sort of stories to a hospitality business's account is that a lot of people want not only to express their point of view, but also they want to see what others think. They want to see what the audience feels, and they want to compare their thoughts to other people's thoughts. So definitely very, very interactive piece of content. Both of them, stories and reels, help you bring your message to life, help you sell what you want to sell, even showcase your brand. For example, why not ask for your team just to film a nice reel showcasing how they do the check-in process. So this is something that people really enjoy seeing. It might be something super simple, and it doesn't have to be, staged. It has to be authentic. It's all about authenticity. It's all about speaking and showing who you are and what people should expect when they step in your premises. Now, just to make things a bit more specific, I have 3 examples here for you. The one on the left-hand side represents a reel, and the other 2 are stories. So now let me show you some real results, what this produced for a given business. On the left-hand side, we went to one of the hotels that we represent, and we ordered room service, right? So room service arrived, we created right there and then a nice reel, and we managed to get 1.8K playthroughs. Really, really great engagement. 1,800 people actually watched the whole video. Now, the middle example is a story of a restaurant in Canary Wharf in London. So the team at the restaurant reached out to us and they told us that they intend to change their menu. So our suggestion was, okay, let's ask what people want to see on your menu instead of you coming up with ideas out of thin air. And we shared the ingredients of a given dish, and then we asked people, would you like to see that on the menu? As simple as that. Through that story, we managed to get 482 responses, out of which 92% of the people said, yes, we would like to try this dish. So guess what? This was a valuable piece of information for the culinary team at the restaurant in order to feel comfortable that that's a good choice for my menu. I will incorporate it. And now, on the other example here, we have a different business, a bar, where we wanted to understand, again, consumer trends. What sort of cocktails do people enjoy the most? So, again, through an interactive feature, we put 4 options: sour, fruity, sweet, and bitter. And we managed to get 332 button taps, meaning that 332 people engaged with our story, and most of them chose sour. Again, a valuable piece of information that we gave back to the bar team, and they came up with creative ideas about cocktails that have sour flavor. Now, moving to another trend, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with because it's very, very recent. Instagram guides. So what is an Instagram guide? Basically, it's a new tool for content discovery, and it's a string of consecutive Instagram posts or places or products. It's something that Instagram launched in May 2020 during the lockdown, and it became available only to wellness and healthcare businesses on Instagram that wanted to share advice with the audience. The performance of these guys was amazing, up to a level that in November 2020, Instagram decided to make that a feature available to anyone, businesses, personal accounts, whoever. And actually, it's a great trend that allows you to group your posts all together and show to your audience a selection. Now, I said at the beginning, it's either posts, places, or products. I leave products on the side because it's not so much related to hospitality businesses. But when we talk about posts, basically what you can do is from your feed, choose some of the posts that you want to group together, and then you can also combine it with other saved posts. So posts that you saved from other accounts that you enjoy or that complement your story and your offering. An idea, for example, would be to create a guide showcasing your rooms. So why not go back to your feed, find all the little photos that you published of your rooms, and then create a guide showing to people that this is my room selection. Another one that is my favorite and I highly advise you to try out is places. Because let's not forget that we shouldn't be selling just ourselves. We sell an experience, we sell a destination, we sell a location. So if you have this hotel in the Cotswolds that I said as an example earlier, if I'm staying there, I'm not going to spend my entire time at the hotel. What does the location have to offer me? For example, are there any seasonal happenings now that Christmas is approaching? Do you have any Christmas markets nearby? Can I go for hiking? Can I go for shopping? What do you have to offer? So this is the experience that you need to showcase to me via a guide. Another very important thing now about the Instagram guides, which we love, is the fact that once you created your guide, you can share it in your stories, or you can take the URL and share it outside Instagram, which is great because you can drive more people from other platforms, like for example, from your newsletter to your Instagram account. And then instead of just getting views, you can get click-throughs. So this is something measurable and something quantifiable that you can monitor and see the performance. Of course, I wouldn't leave you without a proper how-to, because as we said, it's a new trend, so I'm not expecting that everyone has tried it. But I'm proving here that it's super, super easy actually to set it up. All you need to do, if you look at the screen, is go on your business's Instagram account. At the top, you have the plus button. You click on that plus button, and then you can create whatever you want to create. At the bottom, you'll see the feature guide. So you click on the guide, and then from that point on, it gives you the three options that we just talked about: products, posts, and places. Depending on what sort of guide you want to create, you choose one of the three. And then on the top right-hand side, you see that you can add photos, you can add headers, titles, whatever information you want to put in there. And then you save it. Once you create and you save it, it pops up at the top of your feed. So you'll have another icon, which looks like a map, like a guide, and all your guides will be grouped there. Super easy, right? Try it out. Now, my third favorite trend, which is an oldie but a goodie, is competitions. The value of competitions is great because basically what you can do through a competition is generate engagement, drive more traffic, and see the number of your followers and reach skyrocketing. Why? Because you give something for free. And it's always a win-win. I hear a lot of times businesses saying, why would I give something out for free? Well, because it's a win-win situation here. You get something back. So try it out and see how it works for you. And I have a great example to prove just that, what I just said. So completely organic activity here, meaning that there wasn't any paid advertisement behind this post. It was a restaurant that wanted to boost their lunch reservations. They came to us, they shared that information, and we advised them to run a competition. So what were we giving out? We were giving lunch for two. Now, number one, we knew that there would be availability because guess what? They didn't have a lot of lunch reservations. But number two, we wanted to raise awareness around lunch reservations so that people still would participate. They might not win, but they would know that there is this offering available. So what we managed to get through this organic F&B competition post was reach 1.1 thousand organic users. Also, we managed to get 96 likes and 60 valid competition entries. Guess what followed? Obviously, the restaurants saw their lunch reservations growing because they reached so many people. And yes, they gave 2 lunches out for free, but the value that they got back was much greater. And now I'm going to talk to you about the fourth and final trend, unfortunately, for today. Before I talk about that, though, what I want to tell you is that my goal, as I said at the beginning, is for you to feel equipped and comfortable to go back and try all these things out. In order to assist you further with that, we have decided to run a little competition for anyone that is here, talking about competitions, right? And we'll be giving to a business a 1 week free of social media content where we'll be showing you how you can apply all these trends, and it will be tailored to your business. So wait until the end so that you see how you can participate. It's super easy. Going back now to the awareness campaigns. So this is part of the paid services that Instagram and Facebook is giving you. And basically, it's the most cost-effective way in order to see your posts performing and your ads performing. The main goal when running an awareness campaign is see the reach levels increasing. We have 2 sorts of campaigns, what we call a brand awareness and what we call a post boosting. So, a brand awareness campaign, basically, what it allows you to do is expand your sphere of influence. Basically, you are targeting people that are outside your followers, but they are still very relevant and they fit to the persona that is your target persona. So the success of this campaign is being measured by number of people reached. While post boostings is super, super important and cost effective, because not sure if you all know it, but if you maintain a business account on Facebook, not a personal, a business account, 5% of your current followers actually end up seeing your posts. You do nothing wrong. There's nothing you can do in order to affect it. This is how Facebook operates, and guess what? Facebook is a business. So what Facebook wants is for you to use their paid services so that you can increase your reach and actually reach all your audience. So through post boosting, not only you achieve that for all your followers who end up seeing your post, but also to reach more people outside your current follower base. And that's the example that I'm going to share with you now, which is an example of a post boosting. We talk about a budget of £5. No one can tell me that you can't allocate that amount for your business in order to see the performance in one of your posts, right? So what you manage to do with £5 is run a 2-day campaign with a very targeted audience that, as I said before, needs to be carefully built in order to match your target persona. And at the bottom of your screen, you can see the results of that post boosting. So you see the organic column, the paid column, and then the total. We have likes, engagement, impressions, and reach. So with the organic activity, meaning the post itself without being boosted, it managed to reach, if I see here correctly, 156 people and get just 18 likes. Quite miserable. While when I boosted that post with just £5, I managed to reach 7k people and get 1.7k likes. Not bad, right? So this was a great performance and a great example why you should be boosting some of your posts and expand your sphere of influence. This is all for today, I'm afraid. Thank you so much for attending. This is a QR code that you need to scan for 5 of you to win the week of social media content for free, tailored to your business. And it's super easy. It will take less than a minute. I'm open to any questions you may have, and thank you so much for listening. Questions? No? No one? Yes.
When you measure successful posts, for example, the number of likes or the reach,
How?
is there a percentage to followers that you consider to be a good percentage to get?
Yes. So it always depends on the business, what sort of business you are, how many followers you have, how long you've been maintaining that account. So there's no rule that fits all the scenarios. You always have to read your data, and that's the best advice that I can give you. So if you maintain a business account, you have access to the back end and all the statistics that Instagram gives you. You need to keep monitoring that, see what is your audience. Is it mostly female or male? Is it above 20 years old? Is it professionals, or is it whatever their characteristics, and based on that understand the trends and how they change. So by reading your data, you will come up with some averages, and you know that a post is performing well when it goes above your average, obviously. The best way in order to monitor this data is on a monthly basis. Don't do it in a shorter time frame because it can't really give you valuable insights. And of course, when you're running a certain campaign, then compare a campaign to a previous one so that you see the differences. But yes, I wouldn't tell you that there's one thing that is a standard, and based on that you should measure yourself. Measure yourself to yourself. Yes. I will let the lady first. Thank you. Yes.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm over in the corner. Instagram have just announced they're dropping hashtags about 2 weeks ago. They're saying only use 3 or 5 hashtags. Could you help? What the earth do we do now to get our reach?
Okay. So, regarding hashtags, these are things that are always changing. So what you just saw, it's very valuable, and it shows you as well that we need to stay on top of all the trends. We need to update ourselves. As for example, also as professionals, we always check the news, we need to be informed, and then based on what's happening to react. This is very similar to what happened to LinkedIn a few months ago. So LinkedIn a few months ago shared as a good practice to have 3 hashtags on your posts. A few months later, that's not a rule anymore. So don't panic about what happened with Instagram. I would say that this is mostly an action from Instagram in order to control the use of hashtags, because we see from a lot of businesses overusing them, so it loses its purpose really. And they want you to be a bit more strategic about which hashtags you use and how you use them. Try it out. Always try things. Never be afraid to try things. Decrease the number of hashtags that you currently have for your business. Abide to the rule and see your data. If your data shows that your posts are performing well, keep doing it and stay informed. It dropped. Yeah. So don't follow that rule. You don't have to. Yeah. There's no right or wrong. But make sure that your hashtags are not only specific to you, that you're using also trending hashtags. The best practice to have a mix and match. So you need to know what are the top performing hashtags around your industry, which you can easily find by searching on the hashtags area of Instagram. And then some hashtags tailored to you, which are great because they help you group your posts when you search for those. So a mix and match is always the best. Yeah.
Hi. When you boost a post, and you talked about boosting a £5 over 2 days, is it better to boost a large amount over a few days, or lesser over more or over, if you're going to use £10, would you put it over 2 days or 5 days?
Again, trial and error. The tip that I have to give you is boost for more days. Spread your amount in more days. Don't boost for 1 day, because by the time that it starts performing, then it ends. So you don't want to do that. For example, we've boosted with £15 and we spread it to a week, and it worked better than when we used to do it for 3 days. So do it for a longer period, yes.
Thank you.
Sir, sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
The question is about content.
Yes.
I always struggle to. I'm very committed to do at least 4 posts a week and so on.
Okay.
But the content is, I find difficult to get engaged or motivated even sometimes to do it. Just not having the time to do it. So what is a good content? That's the first question. And 2, if it's a video, how long should it be to have the most reach or engagement?
So videos that perform well are short videos. Even if it's a moving asset, a couple of seconds, it's great. You don't want to have a 1-minute video unless it's a videography project and you have, a walk around in your hotel or your business and you have things to really show. But something as short as 10 seconds most of the times is perfect. And now when you say about what sort of content, so a hospitality business needs to show its personality. That's the most important thing. There are no standard topics. Talk about things that represent you. So what is your unique approach? How do you treat guests? Let your team speak. Ask a couple of questions your team and showcase, their answers. What is maybe the best amenity that they have prepared for a guest? Or share even guest reviews from other platforms, from TripAdvisor. Merge that with engaging contents such as stories or videos or GIFs, and you have a top performer. So don't feel that your content should be either very serious or fun. It can be a mixture. You can talk about a serious topic, like for example, operational changes, but the way you show it, it can still be engaging. So it's always a matter of combining these 2 elements. Thank you so much.